the intro of the guy they put in the back room because they're afraid to put him out in front of the people. So I'll try and live up to that expectation. We've had a pretty good run the last 4 years with the EA Partners program. We have a couple of announcements today, a couple of world premieres, and things that we're incredibly excited about, and things that are going to continue the momentum of the program. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't share some of the credit for what we've done with EAP. I'd like to give a ton of credit to my team. My team spends a tremendous amount of time on the road, helping partners in very small, subtle ways, but making a difference in each of the titles that they bring out. So really want to give credit to the team. But then most importantly, where would EA Partners be without the partners that we sign? So in the Partners program, as you see coming up on the screen, some of the AAA developers, some of the biggest names in the industry. These partners bring the magic to life. These partners, basically allow us to be and have the success that we've had over the last several years. These partners at the most recent E3 were responsible for 130 nominations and over 50 various award category wins. So tremendous credit to the AAA quality partners that we're able to bring in here. Now, as we move on, what I'd like to do is go to the first announcement that we're going to be making. So a while ago, we brought a creative visionary in to reimagine what Wonderland could potentially be like. And very few times in our industry do you have a game that 10 years after it ships is selling at a higher price point than it did when it shipped. So when we're thinking about what is the next thing we do with Alice, who else could we possibly lean into except for American McGee to re-envision the next version of Alice?
Hey. Thank you, David. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you guys for being here today. So I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, John Gaudiosi and a few others out there, Rob Smith. You guys know me, you know what I've been up to, but for those of you who don't, I've kind of made a habit out of taking children's fairy tales and turning them into dark, twisted content in the game space, especially making action-adventure games out of them. So about 10 years ago, I was here at EA working with a creative partner named RJ Berg, and we found a developer called Rogue Entertainment who helped us to build American McGee's Alice. As David mentioned, that game went on to sell over 1.5 million units, which back in that time was a really big feat. That original story revolved around a main character, Alice, who returned to Wonderland after the death of her family in a fire. There's the fire. And used Wonderland as sort of her superpower to overcome a lot of the emotional trauma that had been brought about by this event. By the end of that game, we'd created a giant fan base all over the world. You can see that, in these tattoos. Also, you see it, you find it in the way people collect the game to this day, the toys, and how basically the idea of Alice in Wonderland for many people has now changed into this Alice. Now, for myself, the last 10 years, I've had quite a few of my own crazy adventures, but somehow managed to stay out of the asylum. Recently, a couple years ago, moved off to China, where I started an independent game development studio, and we partnered up with EA. And these are our guys. They come from China, obviously, and also all over the world, France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, you name it. And there's a lot of really cool people here, a lot of awesome international creative talent. And they're all pouring their energy into the new Alice, that is Alice Madness Returns. Now, this is going to be a PC product like the original, but also PS3 and 360. Like the first game, it's going to focus very heavily on amazing art, awesome story, interesting puzzle gameplay, adventure gameplay, action gameplay. RJ Berg, who was on the original game, has come back to write the story for this one as well. So we're going to find Alice once again using Wonderland as her superpower, as it were, to overcome difficulties that she confronts in Wonderland, but this time also in London. It's a really dark, really intriguing, and really amazing story that's being crafted, filled with a lot of twists and some of the most sinister bad guys you might ever have seen. Today, we're proud to show you the first peek at what's going to be a series of small, I'm not supposed to call them trailers, teasers. So I think without further ado, the teaser, and thank you very much.
Three, two, one. Alice, tell me of your Wonderland.